Hi guys, and welcome to our Wellness Wednesday today at Holistic Diabetes Solutions. I want to welcome all of our current members and all of our new members. So it's so awesome to have you all joining us every week, watching us grow every week, and sharing more solutions every week. So just give me a thumbs up or a hello and let me know that you're here. And for the new members, please introduce yourself to everyone in the group. Let them know a little bit about you. I've reached out and responded and interacted with some of you, so thank you so much for joining us. And we just love having you and growing our group. This is really all about finding those solutions that work, the ones that support your system, nurture your healing, and help you to prevent and, yes, even reverse your diabetes. Those for prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. And those for those of you that have type 1 diabetes like me, it's really about optimizing our insulin efficiency, being able to reduce our insulin requirements and live into a complication-free future. And that's what I want for everyone. So my name is Cheryl Ivaniski, for those of you who have yet to meet me, and I'm here because I'm passionate about living vibrantly well with diabetes and helping you to do the same thing. So I'd love to hear your stories. I'd love to hear your backgrounds. I'd like to hear where you're coming from and what's happening in your life right now that's a challenge or a struggle or a frustration, and the kind of support that you're looking for. So every Wednesday, for those of you who don't know, we have a Wellness Wednesday. And that means that we have a Tuesday, Trivia Tuesday, where we post and ask a question, and we invite you all to engage and participate and just have fun. That's how learning happens, in fun. So we ask you to participate, and every month we have a contest for all of those who participate. And you don't have to get the right answer. We just want you to be a part of the group and let people come to know you, and because you're valuable. And sometimes other people are thinking what you're thinking, and then we all learn together. So yesterday, the Trivia Tuesday question was all related to the previous week. I'm just going to recap for a moment. The previous week, we spoke about the most common type of complication that people with diabetes have, and that is peripheral neuropathy. Peripheral neuropathy affects as many as 70+% of people with diabetes, which means over 300 million people worldwide. And neuropathy, that is the most common, shows up in the fingers, the hands, the arms, the toes, and the feet. That's peripheral neuropathy, or on the peripheral of the body. Now, you may recall that there are over 100 types of neuropathy in the body. So the Trivia Tuesday question for this week, just to pick it up for this week, was what type of neuropathy affects your internal organs? We talked about the ones on the peripheral, but what about the internal terrain of your body? So we had three choices. So I'm going to talk to you about them a little bit. First one was proximal, the next one is focal, and the next one is autonomic. Now, just to give you a little bit of texture, peripheral neuropathy, as we talked about, is in the nerves that are in the peripheral of the body. And proximal, I'm just going to define that for you, are damages to nerves along a specific distribution channel in the body. So that could be like your chest walls or your lungs, specific to those areas. Focal, there's a couple things about focal. One, focal neuropathies can lead to a double vision. More commonly, I think, is actually people who are experiencing night driving, and they're having challenges adjusting to the light differences between daylight, dusk, and dark. So that's a little bit more about focal. The correct answer actually is number 3. And autonomic is actually the one type of neuropathy that affects the insides of the body, and it affects things that we don't normally think about that are always in process. So what I mean by that is that we don't think about when we're going to take our next breath. So we don't sit there and tell ourselves, oh, I think we better breathe next, or I think we better tell our hearts to beat next. Now, these are the automatic things that happen that we don't have so much conscious awareness about. They just are in process all the time. So what autonomic neuropathy does is it harnesses that group of nerves that manage our everyday, day-to-day functions in our body. So they control voluntary functions, and the big question here is, why is that important for people with diabetes? And it's huge. And there's two really big, huge things about it. Sometimes when neuropathy affects the insides of our system, we have issues with, and this is a very common one, digesting food. We would have delayed stomach emptying, which can affect our direct blood sugar levels, keep them higher longer, because we have slow emptying of the contents in the tummy. So that's also related to gastroparesis, and that is not uncommon for people with diabetes, actually. So that's one example. Another very big example of autonomic neuropathy in the body is when we're able to, through the years, um, feel the symptoms in our bodies of having a low sugar or a high sugar. And we get agitated, we feel dizzy, lightheaded, we get the shakes. Sometimes when autonomic neuropathy is loud and it progresses, it can take away the ability to be able to feel if sugars are high or if we go into hypoglycemic sugars. So that's really important to know, because when you lose those sensations, there's much more risk that comes with things. So you can develop severe hypoglycemia, and you might not even know it. So that's very important, because you have to deal with that and put in different safety measures for that as well. So just some basic information again about autonomic neuropathy. It's the ones that regulate your pulse, your heart rate, your breathing, your sweating, your bladder and bowel movements, your digestion, like we talked about, your vision, and things like that. So, we talked a little bit about what it is and why it's important, and there's so many hows to work with these things. Now, in our monthly mentoring programs, we get into how do we deal with these things? What are the top things we can do every day, and what does that look like? What are the how-tos, and what do we do? So in the short, free mini coaching session, we've been able to raise your awareness on what some of these issues are that come up. And now sometimes you're able to relate to them and say, that is what that is. That's our job, to create awareness. And we want to be able to give you solutions to all of these things as well. And that's why we invite you to join our Inner Circle monthly mentoring program. And there's going to be a link in here that my team will put in here. Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for joining. Yes, when you're here, let us know that you're here, and let us know where you're from, and give a thumbs up. And let us know what type of diabetes you have. Great. So now that we've got this information, I do want to give you one tip, at least one tip, on what you can do to help discover if you have this type of neuropathy, and what you can do about it. To discover this type of neuropathy, there isn't one test that you go to the doctor and they decide if you have, this type of neuropathy. It's not quite that easy. And to be honest with you, it often goes undiagnosed because there isn't the actual testing way until the symptoms present. But there are testings along the way that include tests for delayed stomach emptying. There are tests for, like, there's ultrasounds, and there's different things for testing. When you start to have symptoms, and some of the symptoms that can show up for this, and it's important to know, so if you have a pen and paper, please write this down in the learning. Some of the symptoms that you might have can include things like, for delayed stomach emptying and processing food, may be constipation and backup. Another one may be having the opposite problem, not being able to stop going to the washroom. Another can be feeling very nauseated, very uncomfortable after you eat. And that can happen for hours after you eat. You can have swallowing issues. You can have some issues with not really feeling food going down and swallowing. So you can have issues with that. You can have heartburn. Heartburn and bloating are probably two of the top number one symptoms for people. And feeling lightheaded. Sometimes when you get up from a couch, or you get up from lying down quickly and you're lightheaded, and that dizziness comes in when you stand up, that is also a very common symptom. You can also experience different things with your heart. You can experience irregular rhythms, slower rhythms. You can have blood pressure that could be high or low, and you can have shortness of breaths when you're doing activities or exercise, things like that. And there are many other symptoms. But one thing I want to be able to let you walk away with today is what you can do about them. What are some things you can do about them? So the one tip that I'll leave with you and then invite you into further deeper dive training is that stabilizing your blood sugar levels in the target range that's right for you is important. So if you're someone who has blood sugar levels that are often between, hey Dr. Grace, thanks for joining. If you are experiencing higher than normal blood sugar levels and your normal range for you at this time is between 9 and 13, then your goal for bringing you down to a normal sugar is going to be different for somebody's sugars who are between 6 and 8. So what you want to be able to do is get a good stabilization measure that's slow and safe to get you into the zone that you want to be in. So I'll share my zone with you. My zone is to be in between 4.8 and 6.4. That's my ideal zone. My HbA1cs come back in the mid 6s. I'm going for another test and I am sure they're going to be in the mid 5s. So depending on what your blood sugar target goal is, and it's different for everyone depending on where you are, the ultimate one, of course, is in between ideally likely the 4.4 to likely the 6.8, depending on what type of diabetes that you have. That's number one. The other thing that I would suggest to you is, number one, an ease of movement activity. I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. So for me, when I was teaching aquatics, ease of movement in a pool and doing aquatics and that resistance in the water was ease of movement, but yet it kept all of the muscle groups moving. But it was really great because I had the water as resistance. So that was an ease of movement. Another ease of movement example can be electric muscle stimulation. I actually have a TENS unit, and the TENS unit actually provides electrical stimulation to different nerves and different muscle groups in the body. You can buy those online. You can buy them actually probably in wellness stores as well. That's another example. But another simple example is simply doing your own resistance exercises to keep the body and the nerves and the muscles in good shape. So there's a couple of tips for you right there. And I probably have 25 or 26 really great how-to solutions. And if you're interested, let us know. Let us know on Facebook Messenger. Come to Holistic Diabetes Solutions and just sign up with our monthly mentoring for a deeper dive. Great. So if you have any other questions along the way, please write them in the chats. I want to bring your attention to a couple of upcoming things. Number one, this month we are choosing a winner. For those who participated in our polls and in our Trivia Tuesdays and Wellness Wednesdays, again, you don't have to have the right answer. We just want you to play, participate, be a part of the community. So we're going to draw that name Friday. So what we're going to do is announce another winner. So it's not too late to play this one, but almost. We're almost done the video. So there's that. So we're going to announce the winner, and the winner receives a 15-minute free mini coaching session. And that's exciting because you get to ask your favorite burning question or something that's specific for you at the time so that we can help you. And also, I want you to choose your top burning question, or I want you to choose your top topic that you are really interested, that you're hot to learn about. And I want you to put it here in the comments, because what we're going to do is we're also going to choose one of those topics every month, and we're going to address that topic for you. So we want you to participate, we want you to play, because we want to give you the solutions that you're looking for and that you want. So join us, and also know, keep your eyes open, that in October, coming up real soon, we are going to be having some announcements about a free upcoming webinar. And we're going to tell you more about how you can pre-register for that next week. And we want you to be able to get on with us live, tell us more about what you want to hear about, and share your successes with us. So That's it for now. Adios, guys. Thanks for joining us. Have a really great day, and I'm going to pop in here Friday. So we'll give you the heads up for that so you can join us live too. Okay, guys, have a great day.